The Metamorphosis of Narcissus by Salvador Dali, painted in 1937. This is one of the most fascinating visual illusions in surrealist art. This painting actually tells the story of Narcissus, the beautiful youth from Greek mythology that became so obsessed with his own reflection that he wasted away staring at himself in a pool of water. Contrary to popular belief, Narcissus did not drown while looking at his reflection in the pool of water. In the original version by Ovid, he sees his reflection and becomes completely obsessed with it. Unable to leave or possess it, he stopped eating, drinking, and sleeping to his own demise. He wasted away from longing and obsession. On the left, you can see the figure that represents Narcissus. You can see him crouched in a body of water, but he's curled inward so that he can look upon his own reflection. His posture already looks stone-like, and he's turning into something else. The same figure appears on the right, but it's no longer a man. He's transformed into a giant stone hand holding a cracked egg. From that egg grows the narcissus flower, or as better known to us, daffodils. This is the plant that the myth says Narcissus turned into upon his death. Also note the ants crawling up the stone figure. Ants appear in many of his paintings, and they almost always symbolize decay and death. So even as the flower is born, the body is already starting to rot. Dali called this a paranoid critical image. Dali in the 1930s created the paranoid critical method, which is where you can see multiple realities at the same time in a painting. The transformation from human body to stone hand to flower represents the myth's cycle: Narcissus obsession, destruction, and rebirth as a flower. Even the cracked egg is symbolic. Eggs represent birth and transformation, suggesting that something new emerges from the destruction of the self. Let's move on to the group of dancing figures, or rather a small cluster of nude figures. This represents the admirers of Narcissus. In mythology, he was constantly admired and pursued by others. The small group may represent the many figures who desired him. They appear together and they're only interacting with each other while Narcissus is completely alone. This emphasizes the tragedy of the myth. He rejected everyone else and fell in love only with himself. The bottom right shows a dog gnawing on a carcass or bones. This disturbing detail would most likely represent mortality and decay. I do think that the skeleton hints at what would ultimately happen to Narcissus and the thing he cared about the most, his beauty. The thing he worships the most would eventually decay, just like any other body. Narcissus, meanwhile, will give up his basic survival for self-obsession. I want to look at the figure on the mountaintop. One last note, the rock here that looks like it is internally on fire, I want to say that that would represent the heat of obsession for him, and the dark clouds on the horizon. Dali was greatly influenced by psychoanalysis, especially that of Sigmund Freud. To me, in this context, I think that that would be the brewing of an emotional or mental crisis.